residents of Johannesburg have been plagued by water shortages.
Several parts of Joberg and Randburg are hardest hit, with residents pleading for more water tankers.
Experts say that aging infrastructure as well as lack of maintenance are all a big part of this problem.
Some residents have been battling shortages to no water for months now.
Disgruntled residents are taking a stand, saying enough is enough.
The residents saying that for about 8 weeks at this point in time, they have not had water.
4 weeks now, nothing, not a single drop.
On the other hand, while the city of Joburg and Rand Water says there isn't any water, they're losing a lot of water as well.
Experts say as much as 60% of the water that is pumped into Johannesburg water is lost through a failing infrastructure.
Clearly it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
It's quite difficult. It's very difficult. It's taking us back to the village.
People are very desperate. They have to buy water to flush toilets.
It's unhygienic. It's not conducive to living standards.
It's a desperate situation, a struggle for a basic need.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Hello South Africa, my name is Kwena Moloto and today we are here at the Human Rights Commission in Johannesburg. Now, we all know that the water crisis here in Gauteng has been worsening. Our critical water infrastructure has been collapsing as a result of years of ANC neglect and corruption. The people of Gauteng have said enough is enough and South Africa deserves better. Now, that's why we as the DA are on a mission to rescue South Africa from the failings of national government. The reality is that the ANC is violating South Africa's constitutional right to have access to clean, reliable drinking water. And it's why we are here today as the DA to lay charges against the ANC for violation of basic human rights. Now, it's been a tough time, South Africa. We've had load shedding, job shedding, and now water shedding. It is time for ANC shedding, and the power is in your hands. This weekend, during the registration weekend, we need all South Africans to turn up and register to vote. Go to your local registration center with your green ID book and register to vote, or skip the queues and go to check.da.org.za to register to rescue South Africa. To those of you watching at home, please like and share this broadcast with your friends and family. And if you want to keep up with the conversation, use the hashtag #RegisterToVoteDA as well as the hashtag #EndGautengWaterCrisis. Keep up with us in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts and opinions as well as your experiences having lived under this ANC government and its failures. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
In this election, only the registered have the power. If you're tired of load shedding, register to vote. If you're tired of corruption, register to vote. If you're tired of the rising cost of living, register to vote. And if you're tired of a government that's continuously working against you, register to vote. Go to check.da.org.za and let's give power to the registered.
As you can see, we are here outside the Human Rights Commission with hundreds of DA activists, and I'm also joined with Nazli and Stephen. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, Nazli, we're here outside the Human Rights Commission. What's happening here today?
So today the DA is here to launch a complaint with the Human Rights Commission because we believe that water is a basic human right. It is part of our constitutional mandate that every single person living in Gauteng deserves and has the right to access to water. So we are saying enough is enough. We protest on Wednesday to the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mqunu's office, to hand over a memorandum demanding that he takes action to make sure that water does get to the people of Johannesburg, of Ekurhuleni, of Tshwane, of Vaal, across Gauteng. Kwena, it doesn't make any sense that we live in a province where the water is flowing down the streets, but we don't even have water in our taps. So today, John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA, Msimanga, the premier candidate, is coming here today to hand over a complaint to the Human Rights Commission, because at the end of the day, we deserve, and it is our right to have access to clean running water. This idea of not having water, living in a world-class city, the economic hub of Africa, and we don't even have water. Enough is enough. We all deserve water.
Now, Stephen, why are so many residents in Gauteng and other communities around the country facing this water crisis?
Thank you. It is a water crisis. Gauteng is facing a real water crisis, and we need to be angry about that because it is an ANC-caused water crisis. And I want to be specific. We're not talking nonsense. We're not talking propaganda. The Lesotho Highlands Project Phase 2 is 9 years behind. 9 years behind schedule. It should have already been completed, and it's barely begun. That is critical because Gauteng's population is growing, but the ANC aren't giving us more water. And eventually what that means is we're going to go beyond just a small outages. We're going to go to crisis where millions of Gautengers are without water. And water is a human right. Water is life. And without it, Gauteng is in a very dangerous place, a disaster.
Now, Stephen, what is the DA doing to tackle this water crisis?
Thanks for asking. Kwena, the truth is, a lot of people complain at the DA because we only ever give excuses. We don't have come with solutions. But I want to tell you, the solution is DA government. When the DA was in Johannesburg, they spent 8 times as much money on water as the ANC budgets. What does that mean? For the first time in over a decade, we actually saw less water bursts. We saw less water wastage under the DA. But of course, then the ANC come back in via the back door, and immediately they slash the budgets, they cut the costs, and they leave Gauteng vulnerable in this crisis state, affecting all of us, affecting every resident of Gauteng.
No, thank you. Now, Nazli, you are on the ground at the Rand Water March on Wednesday, and you're engaging people about this crisis. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, Kwena, first I want to say what shocked me the most about Wednesday was the minister coming out to accept a memorandum with VIP security, with police all behind him, with riot police, coming to and accept a memorandum from a peaceful protest. Now, what this told me was the minister doesn't care about providing water. The minister cares about himself and the ANC cadres that are deployed within Rand Water, and that is why we are where we are. The fact that the minister had the nerve, the audacity to come and address the crowd with so much police tells me enough, and it should tell everybody at home that the ANC does not care about giving services. The ANC only care about themselves, and we can't put it anymore. You have to go out and register to make the difference. Kwena, people are angry. People are angry. People want water. We have mothers, newborn mothers that can't assist because of their children. They can't cook dinner. The economy is failing because you need water. You need water for agriculture. You need water for a lot of businesses. But none of this is happening. So people are angry. If you walk along the street, especially in Johannesburg, every single person you ask, people are angry. Kwena, I am angry. I didn't have water for 24 hours on Monday. I didn't have water the whole of yesterday. And then we have load shedding. So we don't have water. We don't have load shedding. The country is crumbling, and we must do something about it. All of us must come together and unite and rally behind the DA to rescue South Africa and to rescue Gauteng.
No, thank you, Nazli. Now, as you said, we as the DA are on a mission to rescue South Africa. So I'd like Stephen, Nazli, let us know, for the viewers at home, how can they get involved in this rescue mission?
It's so easy. Literally, we have made it so easy for you. Go to check.da.org.za so that we can assist you with your registration. You can check your registration status or you can re-register. Please remember, there is a new law that says you can only vote where you live. So you have to register where you live or else you will not be able to vote. But if you're not registered, then you can't even vote. So this weekend, go to your local IEC office, at your local school, your local church, your local community center. Go with your ID document so that you can get registered or re-registered, just to make sure that you are correctly registered. This is how South Africa can rally and unite behind the mission to rescue South Africa. We need you. We need your vote. And we need you to join our mission to rescue South Africa.
Yeah, no, we're on a mission here. Stephen, how can people at home get involved?
I mean, Quena, we can't allow what happened with Eskom. We can't allow load shedding in 2007 to become what we experience today. We can't allow water to become the next Eskom. So I'm saying to you now, we're asking you, we're saying we need to come out and fight this water issue now. Come out and register this weekend. Come out and register to vote so you can vote next year in the election so we can save Gauteng, so we can rescue Gauteng and the entire country.
Oh, you heard it here. We need to rescue South Africa. So go to check.da.org.za and let's rescue South Africa together. We will be right back. Thank you.
(1994) was a great moment in our country's history. We were united. We had hope. We all shared the same dream of one South Africa for all. That dream has been hijacked, corrupted and sold out by the power-hungry and corrupt. They divide us with anger and hate. Corruption is killing our country. Those who have betrayed the struggle are the ones in power who have made themselves rich while the poor go hungry. This is not what we were promised. More empty promises, more unemployment. For 25 years, we have waited. We are moving backwards. The choice before us is simple. Either we make a change and move forward, or our dream dies. Only you have the power to bring change.
Welcome back. We are now joined by Belinda, who is the DA caucus leader in the city of Johannesburg. Now, Belinda, we're here today outside the Human Rights Commission. Can you tell us a bit about what's happening here today?
Well, today we are here because of the many water issues. We have a crisis in Johannesburg. We have residents who have been without water for 60 days, and there is no answers from either Joberg water or Rand water, and everyone is blaming each other, and residents are bearing the brunt of the crisis and the flip-flopping between Rand water and Joberg water. So we are here today because enough is enough. People's rights are being infringed, and we really need to take a stand as the DA.
No, enough is enough. And speaking of that, the DA in Joburg have called for the dissolvement of the City of Joburg Council. Can you tell us a bit more about that and why it's so important?
Yeah, it's very important that we give residents an opportunity to go back to the ballot box and press the reset button. We all know about the court case that the DA has won because of decisions that were made in the legislative arm of council that was irregular, unlawful, and we put it on record in council, and they haven't paid attention to what we said. We also have a problem with just changing mayors because we cannot go with the revolving door of mayors, and we find ourselves in the same problem in the next few months. The mayor has failed. We called him for issues concerning water. The minister was here. He didn't even have the decency to attend some of those meetings. So the legislative arm of council have failed because of the rules that are not being attended to, irregular decisions, and the executive arm of council have failed because they're bringing reports to council that can be overturned in court, which is a big problem for us. We believe in a rule of law, and if both arms of council have failed, then it's important that we collapse both arms of council. Not only that as well, service delivery. Residents are not getting water. They are not getting potholes or roads. I'm sure when you came here, you've seen that you're driving through potholes. And I'm sure you have seen that even everybody's asking, wanting to see the DA run the city, because where the DA governs, we govern better. So if we press the reset button and we collapse council, we dissolve it, we give power back to the residents, then we can start afresh and the DA can continue with good governance for the city.
Yeah, no, we need to give power back to the residents. Now, Belinda, you made mention of this important court case that the DA recently won. Could you just elaborate more on that for the viewers at home?
Yes. Obviously, the court has ruled that Floyd Brink, the city manager's appointment, has been irregular, unconstitutional, and unlawful. We have raised this in council because they rushed through the report. They brought reports at the 11th hour. They had incorrect information. They have limited information that we could not go through on the night of this report that was coming. It also has to do with the GFIS report, which we knew. What they are trying to do is that they have created a situation where a particular individual becomes the city manager. Where there were other candidates, they've manipulated reports to ensure that only a particular individual become the city manager. And we're saying as the DA, as a party of good governance, where there were vetting issues that was raised, where there were issues of irregularity that was raised, we cannot stand by and agree that we keep the status quo. And this also strengthens our resolve to say that council must be dissolved, because if these kind of decisions continue to be made in council, remember, council is the one that appoints the city manager. And because of that, we're saying that council must be dissolved, because we're going to continue having the same kind of problems with the city manager for expediency, political principles are pulling the strings behind the scene, and the city is captured under this current city manager. And that's the reason why we're saying also this court case strengthens our resolve to say that the council must be dissolved, because then we can have a fresh start to ensure that we get people that are fit for purpose, that cannot be captured.
I appreciate it, Belinda. I'm going to unfortunately have to cut you off there. I believe that we have our first speaker that will be on the live. So back to you in the studio. Thank you so much, Belinda.
Residents of Johannesburg have been plagued by water shortages.
Several parts of Joberg and Randburg are hardest hit, with residents pleading for more water tankers.
Experts say that aging infrastructure as well as lack of maintenance are all a big part of this problem.
Some residents have been battling shortages to no water for months now.
Disgruntled residents are taking a stand, saying enough is enough.
The residents saying that for about 8 weeks at this point in time, they have not had water.
4 weeks now, nothing, not a single drop.
On the other hand, while the city of Joburg and Rand Water says there isn't any water, they're losing a lot of water as well.
Experts say as much as 60% of the water that is pumped into Johannesburg water is lost through a failing infrastructure.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
It's quite difficult. It's very difficult. It's taking us back to the village.
People are very desperate. They have to buy water to flush toilets.
It's unhygienic. It's not conducive to living standards.
It's a desperate situation, a struggle for a basic need.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Democrats, as we gather here today, let's make sure that they feel us, that they know that we are here. We are standing on business, as some people might say. You know what that means? That means we are dead serious on what it is that we are doing. We're standing on business. That's what that means. 10 toes. Okay? So, Democrats, one last time. Kancane, sekusele kancane. Kancane, sizophumelela. Kancane, sekusele kancane. Kancane, sizophumelela. Egoli, sekusele kancane. Kancane, sizophumelela. 2024, sekusele kancane. Kancane, sizophumelela. Viva DA, viva! Viva Steenhuisen, viva! Viva Msimanga, viva! Viva DA, viva! Viva Belinda Kaiser, viva! Viva! Democrats, today we are here because we want to ensure that South Africans at home and South Africans in Johannesburg know that we are here to rescue South Africa. So I would like to extend a warm and a hearty greeting to those at home, and a warm and a hearty greeting to the media houses that are present today, and a warm and a hearty greeting to everybody that is gathered behind me here today. So without further ado, allow me to introduce the DA caucus leader in the city of Johannesburg, Councillor Belinda Kaiser Etiozonjoko.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to acknowledge our federal leader, Honorable John Steenhuisen, our provincial leader, Honorable Msimanga. Unfortunately, I see our executive mayor of Tshwane is not here, but I would like to also acknowledge him in absentia. And a warm welcome to Johannesburg. Unfortunately, I have to say Johannesburg is the worst run city in South Africa. Very, very shocking. And it's basically because they cannot deliver basic services to the residents of Johannesburg. It is unfortunate that residents of Johannesburg have to endure this water crisis for months with no end in sight. In the last council sitting, residents of Brixton and the surrounding areas have protested outside the council chambers because they were crying for water. And all of this happening while councillors inside the chambers were having bottled water, which is completely unacceptable. Residents of Heldercrane in Region C have been without water for 60 days. Some of the wards in Joberg South have been without water for 60 days. Our residents are scrambling for water, worried sick where the next drop of water will come from. Residents of the city-owned flats in New Clare have been without water and are currently using the bucket system when eventually the water tankers arrive, which is very, very irregular as well. There has been over 15 meetings between councillors, Joburg Water and Rand Water. And guess what? Rand Water does not even attend. While Joburg Water, obviously you might as well say they are absent because they have no answers. They are both blaming each other. The Minister of Water and Sanitation has had 2 visits to Joburg South. And guess what? Only to make empty promises. Pansi ANC, Pansi! The dignity and the rights of our residents of Johannesburg has been seriously violated. And as residents, because they are fighting each other, when these water tankers arrive, I don't know if anybody has seen some of the footage where people scramble for water and they fight each other to have access to that water. I have unfortunately been in the scuffle of one of these instances where people were fighting for water. It is completely unacceptable. On behalf of the residents of Johannesburg, we are saying enough is enough. Enough, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We cannot allow the status quo to continue. And as the DA in Johannesburg, we will continue to fight for the basic rights of our residents for access to water. Halala, DA, halala! Thank you so much.
Viva Belinda Kaiser Etiozonjoko! Viva! Belinda Kaiser Etiozonjoko! Viva! Viva! You know there's an issue in South Africa and in Gauteng in particular, and I'm seeing it now. It is that the sun makes us sweat more water than there comes outside of the taps. And that is not a lie, it is not a story, it's not a fairy tale, it's a fact of life. Right? So without further ado, allow me to introduce the provincial leader for the DA in Gauteng, our premier candidate, Salim Msimanga. Viva Salim Msimanga, Salim Msimanga, viva! To the federal leader of the party and to the commissioner, I hope the commissioner is here, because what we are here to talk about is very, very much important. It's a human rights violation. Par none. Par none. Because you and me can live without electricity. You and me can live without a number of things. Water is not one of those things. Water is not one of those things that we can live without. But guess what? The not so honorable minister, Sizem Kunu, says, no, we are lying. There's no problem in Gauteng with water. He said it in front of cameras. He said we are lying. There's no problem of water in Gauteng. He says the people of Vicksburg are dreaming about not having water. He says the people of Lenasia are dreaming about not having water. He says the people of Soshanguve are dreaming about not having water. He says the people of Heidelberg, Lesedi, are dreaming of not having water. He says the people of Mahale in Kagiso are dreaming about not having water. And when we say, let's go to Rand Water and have a conversation and do a test, we bring in experts and we say, can you go to Rand Water and show us the telemetrics system? Show us how much water you are releasing so that we know that what you are busy telling municipalities is what you are busy releasing from there. And then we can clear you. They refuse. In fact, the CEO and the COO arrive with VIP lights and protection and stand in front of us and say, no, we're not going to allow you and we're not going to talk to you. And I say, who's standing in front and protecting the councillors when the angry communities come out and say, we want water, we want water from you as a councillor? Shem Dadam Kunu couldn't care because he has the South African Police Service standing and protecting him. Against who? I don't know. Against who? I don't know. But he had the audacity of bringing in the South African Police Service to come and stand in front of us instead of engaging us and then engaging on how we can resolve this issue of water once and for all. The people of Soshanguve have been, now they're on day 66 without water. Day 66 without water. Joberg South, there are people that are on day 60, day 61 without water. In certain areas in Vicksburg, they are saying, if you don't go up and get water at 2 o'clock in the morning, forget about having water the next day. There are great grandmothers and grandfathers who are staying in these flats there, who have been saying, we can't even bath. 30 years. 30 years. It looks like in 30 years we are now reversing. Instead of going forward, we are reversing. We've now gone back to the bucket system. We've now, in certain areas, we've now even gone back into people having to go and get wood from the field to come and make fire so that they're able to then cook for themselves. This is not the dream of 1994. This is a nightmare from 1994. It's a nightmare of our people that have been subjected to. But Democrats, we are here today to say it's not about politics. It's about human rights. It's about giving the dignity back to the people. Imagine you staying in a flat. You staying in that flat, you use a toilet, what happens when there's no water? Where else are you supposed to go? Are you supposed to come and help yourselves on the street? We have said a time and time again, we know that the problem is not just with rainwater. But that minister who refuses to listen, who's arrogant and ignorant, will not even listen to the plans that we are putting in place, will not even listen to the solution that we are proposing. Because a number of solutions that we are proposing were to then talk about how do we help municipalities to ensure that they're speedily able to address their part of the network problem so that we able to then address this thing holistically, from rainwater to the municipalities to the tap that is bringing out water at your home. We say to the minister, if you're expecting that municipalities are going to resolve these issues on their own, it's not going to happen. I promise you, in the next 100 years, if things don't change now, we are going to be sitting with a bigger problem than what we're thinking.
Right now, Joberg will not even be able to then pay for the water tankers going forward. Mfuleni, that municipality that every month gets their cars attached, their bank accounts attached, how do you expect that they will have money to fix their infrastructure? They're not going to, because again in 2 months' time, they're not even going to have enough money to pay salaries. The municipal manager will be writing to Pick and Pay and say, can you give our employees vouchers so that they can at least buy food? We've been saying, let's get a grant at a national level that can be controlled at the provincial level. I don't know whether we want them to control it now with under Panyaza Lesotho. That money will go to be funding Amapanya Panya and the green overalls and the fight against Begitele. So maybe let's scrap that. But what we're asking is that there is a grant that gets to be dispersed. That grant can only and should only go towards addressing the network infrastructure within, from your tap to the municipality, from the municipality to rainwater. That's what the grant should go towards. You do that, you realize that the municipality in Gauteng will save the water that they're losing. In certain municipalities like Mfuleni, they're losing 60% of their water. They will save that much water, and once they save that much water, it means that they will be able to then collect revenue, and when they're able to then collect revenue, they can then fix other infrastructure as well. You would think that this is how this government will be thinking. But yesterday, I was proven right that this government is not thinking actually. I was proven, yesterday we had a debate about the cost of living, and they were telling us about apartheid this, they were telling us about apartheid that, they were calling us, puppets. I said, you know what? Rather call me a puppet with a full stomach than call me a puppet that is looking at people that are desperate for food, desperate for work, desperate for a dignified life. Those same people that you have pretended for years to be caring for, that you failed time and time again. But we're here to say, we're hoping that the Human Rights Commission will listen to us and will help us to address this thing. Yay. If you remember when this issue around ESCOM started, we said the same thing, that you are going to have a disaster. And they said, no, there's no problem. The same way that the minister answered. They said, there's no way we're going to have a problem. Where are we right now? We're living permanently on load shedding. We are about to, in fact, in Joberg, there are certain areas that water shedding started happening. So they say, no, we're closing this side so that this side can have water. Then we close this side so that this side can have water. When do we get to really stand up and say there is a problem, and if we're not going to address it and address it permanently, we are going to sit with problems? They promised us the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. It's 26 billion rand later, 6 years late, and nobody's saying anything. They promised us that they were going to build these guys don't build anything. They don't build anything. Even the infrastructure that was built under apartheid, now they're busy breaking it. They don't break. Ask me what, even one dam that they built. One dam. Can you think 30 years, one dam that they built. One purification plant that they built. But what they do is to destroy everything else. Next year, by the end of next year, we'll be sitting with 6 trillion rand debt as South Africa. Can they please show us one thing that they really did with that money that is worthwhile? So, yeah, they stole it. And some of it is now, in Dubai with houses there. Part of it is now also going to make sure that it's in dollars under the mattresses somewhere else. So that's what they do. But I want to then say, as we close, as I close my part and welcome the leader, we're here to the Human Rights Commission and ask the Human Rights Commission to help us to get into investigating this particular issue, to get rainwater to take accountability for what is happening, and to get Sipho Masai out of that office and whoever else has been part of the bad decisions that have been taken there, and to force the ministers to stop being arrogant and do the work that he's supposed to do, that is engaged with the municipalities, and that is to ensure that we're able to then get the responses and the water that people so greatly deserves. Amandla! Amandla! So it is my pleasure now to welcome the federal leader of the Democratic Alliance to give us the marching orders in terms of how we're going forward. Thank you, John.
We want water! We want water!
Viva DA, viva! Viva! Pambili DA, Pambili! Pambili! Sunny Banane, Dumalang, I'm a Democrat. Goeiemorgen, good day. Assalamu alaikum. It's great to be with you here in Johannesburg. And it is great to be standing together with you on these steps as we stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of South Africa who are no longer prepared to go a moment further down the line with their basic human rights being deprived by a government that does not care. And they do not care. Don't let them come in this election period and tell you they care. They do not care. You open your taps today and the only thing in your taps is air. Just like the ANC's promises, it is just air. They used to say die ANC was die drol in die drinkwater. Maar nou is hulle net die drol, was daar's geen drinkwater oor nie. En dis die waarheid. Our commitment today to lodging a complaint with the Human Rights Commission is another indictment on the ANC government of this province for the decay that they have presided over. We've heard from Solly and from Belinda the neglect, the corruption and the maladministration, provincially and nationally and locally. We've heard about the problems with Rand Water. But in places like Tshwane, KwaThema and Duduza in Ekurhuleni, there's been no water, not for days, but for more than 2 months. I was just with my sister, fellow Democrat, he was telling me that in Lenasia, it's not 5 days. Vrededorp and Jan Hofmeyer, it's not days or weeks, it's 5 months. In Shoshongove in Tshwane, water cuts have persisted for as long as 6 months. And here in Johannesburg, our residents confronted day zero in October 2022 as a dangerous combination of government failure, load shedding met water shedding, and Gauteng residents suffer. But believe you me, they don't care that people have to walk from their homes, the elderly, the infirm, the disabled, have to go out onto the streets and draw water out of buckets in tankers. And the reason they don't care is because the people making money off those tankers are the very cadres who've caused the corruption and maladministration and the collapse of the system. And let me tell you, this is not a victimless crime. And believe you me, it is a crime. It is a crime against the basic human rights contained in our Bill of Rights. Chapter 2 of our Constitution, Section 27, makes it clear. This is not a luxury that people are asking for. This is not a bonus or an added extra that people are demanding. It is a basic human right. Now, believe you me, they would like to tell you that there's a water shortage in Gauteng. There's no water shortage in Gauteng. Dis nie 'n woestyn nie. It's not a desert. This isn't the Kalahari or the Sahara Desert where there's no rainfall. The dams are full. The Vaal Dam is 72% full. This isn't a situation where there's not enough water. There's plenty of water. It is the fact that the infrastructure has been broken and stolen by a government that does not care. Under the provincial government, Rand Water's 32 billion capex program to restore its assets and renew infrastructure is now 10 years late. 10 years late. The people of Gauteng have been fed the same old lies, the same old promises, the same old nonsense. The National Department's website. You were with the National Minister yesterday. I saw you had a great chat, Solly. And you can see how out of touch he is with the situation on the ground. And you know what the slogan is on their website? Water is life, sanitation is dignity. And I say to that, amen. Amen. Of course water is life. Amanzi impilo. And sanitation is a dignity. But if that is true, then Senzo Mqunu and the Premier of this province and those rotten local governments have robbed the people of dignity and they've robbed them of their lives. 392 planned operations, medical surgeries had to be cancelled because of the lack of water. But it is also causing economic hardship for the people of this province. It's not enough for this government in this province that the unemployment rate is skyrocketing. It's not enough for this government that their corruption has killed jobs. They're shutting factories that are moving to neighboring states. Never mind within the country, they're moving to neighboring states because they can get water and electricity there. They are bleeding engineers because they push them out because of cadre deployment. And they are killing jobs and potential jobs at the rate of knots. You cannot grow an economy without electricity, and you cannot grow an economy without water. Bottom line, these are the basic requirements for any economic growth. You cannot get economic growth if you don't have the basics. I know it sounds like it's simple, but it's clearly something that is lost on this government. The most recent the Quarterly Labour Force survey shows that South Africa's only growing provincial economy, when it should be Gauteng, the engine room of Africa, supposedly, is actually the DA-run Western Cape. That's the economic hub in South Africa. It's the province with the lowest unemployment rate, 20.2%. That's a full 13.5% points lower than that in Gauteng. The Western Cape's unemployment rate has also decreased by 4.3% in the last year alone, because we are the party that creates jobs. There's no other party in this country that creates jobs. If you want a job, the DA is the party of jobs. And this is because where we govern, money is spent on infrastructure. The infrastructure budget being spent by the city of Cape Town this year is double that of Johannesburg and Durban put together. Huge amounts of investment in infrastructure, bringing in people to ensure that there's quality management of the water, to make sure that the taps don't run dry. And even when faced with a drought, like we were in the Western Cape, even then the taps did not run dry, because you had good management, good stewardship of the resources. So it's also fitting that we are here today to lay this complaint on the eve of a very important weekend. And this weekend is important because it is the first registration weekend in South Africa for the upcoming election. And as voters prepare to register this weekend and to cast their ballots in the elections next year, I've got some exciting news to share with all of you here today and all of you watching. And I can today confirm that according to the DA's latest internal polling, which is backed up by polling done by independent organizations like the Social Research Foundation and the Brenthurst Foundation, the multi-party charter has overtaken the ANC as the largest political movement in Gauteng. The latest polling has the multi-party charter polling at 45% in Gauteng. That's just 6% away from a 51% majority. What do we say to that? The ANC support in this province has plummeted to just 37%. They are in the departure lounge, and on election day next year, Solly and the team in Gauteng are going to give them the heave-ho out of government, and we're going to have a new government in place. But we can only get this right if citizens stand up, if people become part of the movement for change. Because change doesn't happen by osmosis. Change is an act of the will. It is a physical act of registering and making sure that you vote for that change. Because the people in the Western Cape would not be enjoying the jobs, the good services, the decent education and the quality healthcare if they hadn't voted for it in the first place. So, I believe that we can have a new government here in Gauteng. I think we can have a new premier here in Gauteng. And I've got a good idea who that premier will be. So Gauteng residents, if you want to end load shedding, if you want to stop the corruption and rot at provincial and local level, if you want water in your taps, if you want jobs, you've got to come out this weekend and you've got to register for it.
Yeah.
You've got to register it. There's no use complaining if you're not registered, and there's no use moaning if you're not voting. Because complaining and moaning won't move the needle. Your vote will move the needle and change your life forever. So I'm calling on all of you to come out and register. And remember this. Just remember this. This government does not care about you. They do not care about the fact that you sit without water. They do not care that you sit without a job. They do not care about the fact that you're sitting with load shedding in your home. They do not care. And if you're sitting at home and saying, I'm not interested in politics, not interested, doesn't matter in my life, I've got a very important message for you. You may not be interested in politics, but what has happened in Gauteng shows you that politics is very interested in you. Because it is politics that has switched off your water. It is politics that switched off your electricity. It's politics that has switched off the factories and the jobs in this province. It is politics and politicians who have robbed you of your future and your opportunity. And they are laughing at you. Believe you me, as the president flies above Gauteng in that beautiful plane that you all pay for, serving 24,000 rand a head meals in luxury, while children underneath on the ground are literally starving to death across the country, they are laughing at you. While they're sitting at Brintarian and in their wonderful estates that you pay for, pouring the water that never stops running there into their Johnny Walker Blue Label, they are sitting there and laughing at you. While they sit there making sure that their corrupt cadres and cronies and friends get jobs and the opportunities and tenders while you sit without everything, they are laughing at you. But tomorrow and Sunday and on election day next year, you get to wipe that smile off their face. And you get an opportunity to vote for a new government, a government that will deliver, a government that will make sure you have water, sanitation, electricity, safe communities, a moving economy, a growing economy, an inclusive economy. You can have that and we can have so much more, but we cannot have it with the ANC. Vote for change, vote to rescue South Africa, make sure you register, make sure you vote, and let's rescue South Africa together.
Viva DA, viva! Viva John Steenhuisen, viva! Viva! Democrats, what we are going to see right now is we are going to see the complaint laid on the podium. So the Human Rights Commission will be coming to the podium and we'll be laying the complaint. Viva DA, viva! We want water! 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 On soek water! On soek water! On soek water!
I think it is important. It is important that we must read this so that the public know why we end up doing what we are doing. And it reads as such: to the Human Rights Commission, the subject is human rights violation complaint regarding the water supply issues in Gauteng. To whom it may concern, I am writing to file a formal complaint with the South African Human Rights Commission concerning the ongoing and severe human rights violation experienced by the residents of Gauteng due to the rainwater's consistent failure in ensuring access to reliable water supply. How do we describe the issue? The residents of Gauteng have been subjected to prolonged and unacceptable water supply challenges, resulting in severe hardships, health risks, and an infringement of their basic human rights. The consistent disruptions and shortage of water have affected various communities across Gauteng, causing immense distress and compromising the overall well-being of our residents. Who are the implicated parties? It is evident that the Minister of Water and Sanitation has a role to play in overseeing the province's bulk water supply that is under rainwater. And by extension, the organization's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Sipho Musai. He, in turn, has a crucial role in overseeing and ensuring adequate water supply to the province. Despite their positions of responsibility, especially Mr. Musai's, there is consistent failure in addressing and rectifying the persistent issue within rainwater, and with rainwater's reservoirs, pipelines, and communications to municipalities. The combination of these factors has led to a situation wherein municipalities are unable to plan, leaving residents' taps dry. Moreover, in cases where rainwater supplies directly to the residents, thousands of people are left without water for more than a month on end. This is clearly a significant violation of their human rights. The violation alleged, Section 27 of the South African Constitution, which guarantees the right to access to sufficient water, is particularly significant in addressing and mitigating the prevalent water shortage in South Africa. Below, two significant rights which have been violated are mentioned. One, right to accessing clean drinking water. The inability of the province to provide consistent and reliable access to clean water violates the fundamental human rights to access basic necessities essential for life and health. Two, the right to health. The compromised water supply poses severe health risks to residents, violating their right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health. And one could argue that a violation of this scale goes further than simply the already mentioned, also contravening the right to a healthy environment. We request the Human Rights Commission to investigate this violation thoroughly. Additionally, we urge the Commission to engage with relevant authorities, including the Minister of Water and Sanitation, to ensure immediate action to resolve the water supply issues in Gauteng and hold the responsible parties to account for their negligence. In this regard, we would also like an undertaking, or we also we have an undertaking to work alongside the Human Rights Commission in your investigation into the violations by rainwater. In our conclusion, we say that the dire situation faced by the residents of Gauteng due to the consistent water supply challenges warrants urgent attention and intervention from the Human Rights Commission. It is ours and your duty to safeguard the basic human rights of the affected individuals. We look forward to working alongside in your intervention and in your investigation in this regard. We trust that the Human Rights Commission will address this matter with gravity that it deserves and take prompt action to rectify this violation. Sincerely, John Steenhuisen and Msimanga.
Viva Msimanga, viva! Ons soek water. Ons soek water. Ons soek water.
Can I just get it?
Ons soek water. We want water. We want water. We want water. We want water. Sifuna manzi. Sifuna manzi. Sifuna manzi. Sifuna manzi. Sifuna manzi.
Thank you very much.
Sifuna manzi.
Democrats, as you would have seen, we are not just going to sit back and complain.
Thank you, Human Rights Commission.
And thank you to the Human Rights Commission. If needs be, this is a matter that we're willing to drag to the courts of South Africa. We cannot continue like this. We are not going to allow them to behave like ostriches every time. Whenever there's a problem, they put their heads in the sand and hope that everything else, disappear. When we said, and they are shocked, let me say, President shocked. When we said there is a problem that is emerging of electricity, they put their heads in the sand. When we said in Gauteng there's life as it demand that is coming, they put their hands in the sand. When we said the policies of employment or the policies that they're putting in place that prohibits are becoming even, they're giving up on ever even getting to a job. That cannot continue. 30 years into democracy, this is not what our parents, our grandparents have envisioned. So Democrats, let's go out there and make sure that we get people to register, that we get the numbers to come behind the DA and in turning Gauteng around, and in turning KZN around, and in turning Mpumalanga around, in turning the Northern Cape around, in turning the Eastern Cape around, and turning around the Northwest, and turning around South Africa, because we want the whole of South Africa to be like the Western Cape. Amandla! Amandla!
I am a mother. I am a father. I'm a daughter. I am a son. I believe in freedom. Freedom to earn a living. Go where I want. Love who I want. Say what I believe and pursue my dreams. I am brave. I am a provider. I believe in fairness. A fairness where our achievements are determined by our choices and hard work. I am a leader. I believe in opportunity. A nation where opportunity is plentiful and everyone's rights are protected. I believe in diversity. Every person has a unique perspective and an important role to play in building our nation. We do not judge each other by how we look, but by who we are. We are South Africans working together. We are the Democratic Alliance.
Well, there you have it. From John Steenhuisen, the multi-party charter has now taken over the ANC in the polls here inside Gauteng. The DA is on a mission to rescue Gauteng as well as rescue South Africa. And we can remove this failing ANC government, but we need your help. The registration weekend is coming up and we need you to go and check your registration status at your local voting station. Alternatively, go to check.da.org.za and we will help you. But there's a real opportunity to rescue South Africa, but we need all South Africans to get involved. So go and check your registration status, South Africa, and remember to keep the faith. Also a reminder that with the change inside the laws, IEC laws, you can only vote now at your registration station that you registered at. So please go and check your registration station either this weekend or at check.da.org.za. South Africa, please keep the hope. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Kwena signing out.
Get help registering to vote online. Visit check.da.org.za. All you need is your ID. Enter your personal details and submit. Check your cell phone for your unique link and click. If you need to register, you will be directed to the IEC's website. Select Register to vote now. Enter your personal details. Upload a photo of your green barcoded ID or your smart ID card by selecting Browse to find the photo. You will receive a message confirming your voter registration within 24 hours. Be part of the mission to rescue South Africa in election 2024. But if you are voting for the first time or if you've moved since you last voted, you need to register correctly to vote in 2024. Remember, You can only vote at the voting station at which you are registered. Take up your power and skip the queue. Visit check.da.org.za and get help with your voter registration.
Thanks for watching. All across our beautiful country, people are joining forces to elect the new government that can rescue South Africa. Help our rescue mission and register to vote. Get help registering online now at check.da.org.za. Let's rescue South Africa.